What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/AmITheButthole. Alright, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for Not Telling My Husband About My Current Medical Situation? I would like to start by noting that I struggle with social issues and have a history of making fact-based, logical decisions, in my opinion, many of which I have been told were cold, cruel, and mean, although that was never my intention. My husband has been my emotional interpreter for many years. Since I can't ask him, I'm hoping that the Redditors of Am I the Butthole can help me out. For the last 18 months or so, I have been seeing doctors to diagnose an ongoing and progressive issue. Finding a diagnosis has been delayed due to Brovid, so I have not yet been formally diagnosed yet. Oh man, that second yet was a bit redundant. It's pretty certain that I have some form of neuromuscular disease, but which one has yet to be decided. I have not told my husband this. The reasons I have not are, 1, he has been very depressed over this past year, lockdown, etc. 2, he has a tendency to overreact and downward spiral when bad things happen. 3, I don't want to cause him unnecessary pain when at this point, I'm not sure what is going on. 4, I am also stressed out and don't think that I can manage his reaction at this point. 5, when I was deciding if I should tell him, I asked him a theoretical question, if he would want to know about potential bad news. His response was, ignorance is bliss. Notes: I do plan to tell him once I have a diagnosis and a plan in place. My husband is a very sweet but not very observant person. He has not noticed or asked about anything person. I have never flat out lied to him, although I do acknowledge and understand that no omission is less than truthful. I was talking to a mutual friend who happens to be a nurse, and she was appalled that I went this long without saying anything. She also knows my husband pretty well and thinks he's gonna be really mad about this. We have kids. He needs to prepare himself, etc. My thinking is that he was going to be mad anyways, and I was giving him more time to enjoy life before the bombshell drops. Plus, I've already made all the necessary preparations. Am I the butthole? Should I tell him now? I don't, you know what? The way you said earlier, calculated and knowledge fact-based, you get what I'm saying. The whole fact-based logical decision-making thing. I really think that applies here. People can say this is cruel, but he's really right. Ignorance is bliss. You ever see any sad, stupid people out there? No, because they're too stupid to be sad. It's a wonderful thing. How do you think I'm so freaking wow all the time? It's because I'm an idiot, and I live for it. I love it. But no, on a real note, there's like a great number of neuromuscular diseases or whatever, some of which are fatal, so I don't know how urgent this kind of information is, but you don't have anything, like, for sure to tell him, though. So for all you know, it could just be, or for all we know at least, it could just be like a minor sort of thing that you can be managed with enough care. But if you tell him you just have an unknown neuromuscular disease, he might assume the worst, which helps no one. Alright, this is called Update! Am I the butthole for not telling my husband about my medical issue? I know that my original post didn't get that much attention, irrelevant to me. I thought that my update might be important to someone who might be considering taking advice from Am I the Butthole, especially others with cognitive emotional impairments. As I did, and it blew up in my face. I read all comments, and the overwhelming majority of the commenters told me that I should tell my husband about my illness. Despite my gut telling me it wasn't a good time to do so. I second-guessed my judgment because of my disorder and followed Am I the Butthole's advice. Bad idea. My husband had a complete breakdown. Although he is not explicitly angry with me, he doesn't understand why I did this right now. He knows that I did not require his emotional support. It would have been a different story if I did. He feels like he needs to carry the emotional burden of everything in our marriage, which is true, and that I was putting more on his plate when he was already struggling. He said that I had nothing to gain from telling him, and he had everything to lose. He's been having severe anxiety attacks and insomnia, had to take some time off work, which sucks for us financially, but unsafe for him to work as he is. I genuinely appreciate the people who took the time to understand the intricacies of my situation, even though the advice didn't work out. Thank you. The judgmental ableist trolls with zero compassion can go, I don't know what that means, go far or down? Get effed. Okay. Yeah, they can. I hate ableists. Violinists are pretty cool though. It's a tricky instrument. Anyway, I feel bad for OP. She really should have listened to herself because despite what a lot of people might think, they don't know more about the situation than those involved, because she should have listened to herself. She knows her husband more than we do. But if she would have listened to my advice, then things would have been fine. But unfortunately, you can't look into the future. We should look into that though. Imagine how handy that would be. Why isn't science funding this? I just ate a grilled cheese with way too much cheese. I know, sounds impossible, but it was a lot. I really regret that decision. But anyway, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for Spending My Dad's Money on a Trip with My Aunt Instead of Stepmom? I've read a lot of Am I the Buttholes, and so this is my first time making one just for this. A little insight. I, 17 female, lost my mom this year, early April. Oh, I'm sorry. My parents divorced when I was really young, but I've kept in touch over the years with my dad to ask for financial help with school, trips, etc. Other than that, he told both my mom and I not to keep in touch unless necessary. Ever since my mom's passing, I've been living with my dad. I don't know the details, but my mom and dad never had a friendly relationship, and I can tell my dad really didn't like her. But to me, she was my single working mom, and I really miss her. My dad's new wife, my stepmom, is okay, but she acts a bit tense around me and tries too hard. Hey, I mean, at least she's trying, right? I don't think she likes my mom either, since she tells me to stop when I talk about her. I feel like my dad is pushing for us to get close, but I don't see that happening since I barely know either of them well enough. Plus, I'll always only have one mom. Here's where the problem starts. Back when I used to live with my mom, she used to work tons of shifts, get barely any rest, and work her damn hardest for me. I wanted to surprise her with a surprise vacation or a small trip for her to relax, but we couldn't afford it, so I started asking my dad for money every few weeks, saying I needed it for extracurricular courses. When I finally had enough, my mom passed away and I started living with dad and his stepwife, or wife. Oof, that's rough. I still had the trip money left over, so I called in my aunt, my mom's sister, to come with me for the trip. I don't know how, but my dad found out about the money I've collected and got really angry, but said he'd forgive me if I went on a trip with stepmom. Obviously, I didn't, and left with my aunt when he was away at work. My aunt and I had a blast on our small road trip, stayed at a motel, and basically just toured around in big, wide open spaces. As a city child, I had a lot of fun in the countryside. When I came back, Dad was really mad and took away all my devices and grounded me, calling me a butthole for choosing not to go with stepmom and using his money like a thief. I know what I did with lying about my courses and taking his money was wrong, but was it wrong of me to go with my aunt? She really reminds me of my mom and I missed her so much. My dad, his wife, and extended family found out and are all calling me a petty thief and a liar. My stepmom has started ignoring me in the house too, and everyone keeps telling me to apologize, but I don't see where I did wrong with going with my aunt who I feel closer to. Okay, well, first of all, you definitely should apologize for how you got the money, but you definitely were not the butthole for taking your aunt, because you lost your damn mom, okay? Like, that's nothing to sneeze at, especially when she's all you had. And like, can you imagine going on a vacation with stepmom that you don't even know and who, I don't know, man. Your dad should definitely be way more understanding about this. Jeez, this sucks. Rest in peace, OP's mom. Alright, here we go. This story is called Update! Am I the butthole for spending my dad's money on a trip with my aunt instead of stepmom? Alright. Thought it was about time I make an update post. Although my previous post was judged and the final verdict was given not the butthole, I recognize my mistake and have since apologized to both dad and stepmom. Right now, I'm working on paying them back through chores and helping around the house, and I'm getting there slowly. The total amount I took from my dad was $150, by the way. I got the money through lying because our city was in lockdown at the time and I couldn't get any jobs even if I wanted to, plus allowance was out of the question. Regarding child support, I don't know if my dad was paying it or not, since my mom told me not to talk about financial issues and stuff, probably not to worry me. But I do know we didn't exactly live the high life. There was barely much to eat, and my mom worked multiple jobs. We lived paycheck to paycheck. My dad is much better off financially. Okay, you're sounding much less and less like the butthole here. Stop, Mom. Stepmom has finally stopped ignoring me, but doesn't make much conversation. I tried asking my dad why his relationship with my mom was so bad, and he said they had a forced marriage, and not to talk about her since it would upset stepmom, and that she's currently pregnant. To be honest, I'm just really tired and miss my mom. Thanks to the people who gave me advice on what to do and how to move out and be independent. I'll work hard until then. Stay safe, everyone. Bye. That's really sad. Yeah, it was a good thing you apologized to stepmom, even though you didn't really do anything wrong, but just so that she gets a bit of understanding. And a lot of the time, a lot of issues can be fixed just by explaining your motivations and explaining your feelings toward the situation. But of course, that's a hard thing to do, and some people aren't very receptive, but it's the effort that counts, right? Alright, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for Pouring My Husband's Sweet Tea Down the Drain and Marching Out? I lost my part-time job due to Brovid, and I've basically become a little housewife. I'm fine with that, as that's always been my role in my relationship anyways. It's just less hard to keep up with now. I'm also in school for nursing, but obviously I'm doing that from home. My husband works full-time and works hard. His commute to work is very long, over an hour each way. We go running together every day, and because I know it's a lot of stress for him, we meet 20 minutes away from our home so he doesn't have to come home and drive back out. He calls me when he's 20 minutes away, and I leave. Today I was 7 minutes late as I had to turn off all the lights and get myself together before leaving the house. When I got there, he copped a major attitude with me for being late, refused to even speak to me for being 7 minutes late. I tried to explain that I had to put my shoes on and turn out the lights, but he wouldn't talk to me. The run was very awkward, and when we got home, he said that he felt he had every right to be angry and stomped off upstairs. What? Okay, there's gotta be something else. I've had a lot of pent-up feelings about the fact that he always expected me to be at his beck and call. It's like he thinks the whole world revolves around his time schedule because I lost my job. Anytime he's hungry, thirsty, he yells my name. He doesn't even serve his own plates anymore. It's like he thinks I just sit in the dark with my hands folded, waiting for him to call. At this point, I knew he was being ridiculous, and I was just so upset that I did something that way makes me the butthole. When he came downstairs, I told him that he could make his own dinner, his own lunch tomorrow for work, and I looked him straight in the eye as I poured the pitcher of sweet tea I make every week down the drain. And I said, "You can make your own freaking sweet tea too, you ungrateful brat!" And I walked out and drove to my mom's house. So am I the butthole for that overreaction? I was just so annoyed. Alright, and there's like a big update thing at the bottom, but we're gonna read the actual update post. But so far, I think, your actions... Yeah, you were upset. You were upset, and rightfully so. It's annoying to... Oof. He needs to... I don't know. It's just... Y'all need to talk this out. I think something else is up. Alright, this one is update. I didn't have to yell that one. Am I the butthole for pouring my husband's sweet tea down the drain? So it's been a few days since my original post. Everyone was so kind, helpful, and supportive. I received so many messages, and I want to thank each one of you for them. They meant more to me than you know. Well, I've left my husband, and it really wasn't over this one incident, but really a buildup of many. Before I even made the post, I wasn't completely blind to what he had been doing in terms of control. As weird as it seems, sometimes I just forget I am an adult and I don't have to just say, "Yes, sir," and listen to any man that's older than me. I'm an adult now. I make my own rules. I feel sick saying this, but I realize I had been viewing him as a parental figure and not a partner. It kind of makes my stomach twist to even type that, but that is what it is. I don't really want to analyze it right now. It's too gross. I'm honestly going through a really tough grieving time right now. I feel like such a failure. What's worse is that he does not care in the least. When I called him to tell him I was leaving, he said, "Okay, let me know when you want to grab your stuff. We can have you moved out ASAP." And that was it. That was all he said before he hung up the phone. I'm really hurting. I loved him so much, and I think a part of me just wanted to see if he was willing to fight for me and apologize. He was not, so that's that. But although I'm hurting, I feel free. My mom has welcomed me back. She's so happy I'm divorcing him. I got together with my friends who he wouldn't let me see. I watched TV shows he told me were too... Whoa. I watched TV shows he told me were too childish, and I've been wearing ugly sweatpants and oversized t-shirts that he always said made me look like a man. Okay, he was one of these guys. Oh, he was one of these guys. That makes so much sense. He wasn't just upset about something else and just taking it out on her. He was just a dick. Oh, so thank you, all of you. I got a wake-up call I desperately needed. I don't even want to be a housewife. I never wanted that for me. No hate on anyone who does. Honestly, guys, it was hard and lonely work. I'm gonna get my RN and then move on to my master's. You've all encouraged me in the best possible way, or way possible. Yikes. Okay, well, I'm sure there are some people that like that kind of treatment from their partners, but not as many in the 21st century as there was, like, what, 60 years ago? Yeah, it took a bit of a nosedive. But anyway, I'm glad for OP. I'm glad she realized that the situation she was in was toxic. And that guy, he needs to not be such a self-absorbed jerk. Yeah, be like me. I'm like the least self-absorbed person I know. Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? This story is called Am I the Butthole? For telling my roommate to tell his girlfriend to not walk around naked in shared spaces. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me stop you right there, buddy. Why? Alright, continue. For context, we share an apartment and have a common area and bathroom that is shared between us. While we have gotten along okay, he definitely has different notions of personal space, which is annoying. The latest spat comes with his weird and creepy girlfriend who spends way too much time with excuses to not wear enough. I found her on several occasions, walking naked from the bathroom to their bedroom for no particular reason, cooking in just a towel, watching TV in just panties, leaving the bedroom door open when changing, and several more. I'm sure she's getting off on some sort of exhibitionism. I got real annoyed and told my girlfriend to tell her to knock it off, that it wasn't subtle and maybe a form of sexual harassment. Okay, now I feel like a jerk for saying why. It was just a joke at the beginning, guys. Like, I get it, nudity makes some people uncomfortable, me included. I mean, I don't know if it'd be. Okay, stop talking. He laughed and called me a poon and told me I'd rethink my sexuality if I don't find his smoking hot GF attractive. It's all weird, but I have to share a lease till July. Help me! Am I the butthole here? No, dude, if you tell her to stop, like, that's sexual harassment. That is legit harassment, dude. You're being flashed over and over, and she's not even on the leash, all right? You can get her ass kicked out. You can, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, don't let him gaslight you. Like, that's messed up. He's not a good bud. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.